We're gonna talk about some games. So I played a couple new games this week. Uh, One of them I'm gonna mention it first, just because it's I didn't play too much of it, but I did want to mention it. It's called Dungeon of the Endless, and it is a neat little. It's a how do I describe it? It's basically like a roguelike with tower defense elements to it. So the premise is that you're this little ship of survivors that's crash landed deep in the depths of this alien planet, and you have to you have this beacon in your ship that you have to take to the surface. So you progress through the ship, and I believe probably maybe through I think just through like the parts of the you're like deep in the ship, and you take two survivors, from what I can tell. You take two of the two characters with their different stats and sometimes their different abilities and things like that. And you move them from room to room, controlling each of them independently. You just click to which room you want to go to. You explore. There's nodes in each room that you can build things on. So you have some resources. You have like resource generators that you can build to generate your resources. You're more of them, and then you can put down like little turrets on these nodes, because the game is so the characters themselves can attack, but the game is designed in a way where when it throws like maybe even just two waves at you in the early game, it's pretty scary, and two characters probably can't take all of that on safely. So you want to build some defenses and be careful. So, but you have a limited amount of resources to build your defenses with. So you have to kind of balance, okay, do I want to like reinforce every single room? Because that's kind of unsustainable. Or do I want to, take my chances, go into this new area, and then maybe just maybe kite them back out all the way. And it's fun. It's pretty cool. I believe it's also playable in co-op, so you can check that out. Dungeon of the Endless. And then I was playing a demo for a game called The Crystal Project. And this game is, okay, so this game is really cool. It is, hey, Final Fantasy V? Remember that game? You want more of that? Like, you want like a whole other game that's just that idea, just the job system from FF5? It's that. The Crystal Project is an extremely gameplay-focused RPG styled after FF5, where the whole premise is that you have this party of characters, and there is a giant job/class system, and you can switch out what class each character is, and they will gain new abilities as they level up in that class, and then you can like mix and match them to create these cool team compositions. And it is great. It's really cool. It has a free demo, but I'm like 6 hours in and it's still going. There's like at least two big areas that I haven't even really touched yet. It has this very charming voxel graphics style. Obviously a send up. There's many elements that are just a direct send up to FF5. There's first of all, the menus are extremely similar. The layout of the options is very similar. Even like the attack names, like the spell names are really, like the healing spell is called Cure, stuff like that. There's basically no story. It's just kind of like you're adventuring. You're going from one area to another, and they've all got very different looks, and there's a lot to explore. So this game is an RPG, but it's also a send up to getting over it, because goddamn, there's a lot of platforming. And the platforming actually feels pretty good. The jump feels good. It's just taking your character on the overworld and you're just jumping from like excuse me, one spot to another. And there is tons of stuff hidden away. In just the first starting area, there's a bunch of just hidden chests and places where, oh, you can jump on this ledge and then jump on this and then jump over here, and there's a secret like passage hidden behind a wall over here, and then you walk through there and you jump up here and there's another chest. There is so much packed into these areas that I would spend just minutes on minutes exploring and not fighting anything, just exploring stuff, because there's despite the fact that there aren't really movement mechanics besides jumping, it's I'm like, oh, dude, I can totally get up there. Like, you see a chest and you're like, how do I get up there? How do I get up there? The combat is, I miss this style of combat. I missed some good old turn-based combat. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I do enjoy it. It is not the action time battle. It is turn-based. It is based off of, I believe, speed. Some stat like that of each character. It's really fun. Once you kind of complete some of the larger, like, you got to beat some bosses, and once you do that, they will usually reward you with a crystal, much like how in FF5 you would get to the crystals, and then they would give you a new job. You would unlock a new job. There's these little spinning kind of cubes, which they seem like save points. They're not. You can save anywhere. These cube things are called home points. And from the home points, you can change what classes each of your characters are. You can set each one as a home point, and then teleport to your new. And then if you find another one, you can teleport back to your home point. You can't fast travel around, unfortunately. You can create templates, which is cool. You can create basically a setup. You can save a setup of whatever your current party is of class and things equipped, so that you can have a dedicated, like, this is my boss killing setup or something like this is my farming setup. They're called templates, which is a great quality of life feature. That's awesome. And I don't know how to it's just really cool. It has a very pleasing art style. Very simple, like, we're going to do some 2D sprites with some 3D, very voxel art-looking environments. The combat is pretty snappy. There's a lot of information that's accessible to you. Like, you can just see what enemies are weak to and stuff like that once you encounter them a single time. It has like that comprehensive bestiary thing going on. It's just a really fun game to explore in. Very simple, straightforward, satisfying gameplay. I love the whole thing of unlocking classes. You can then set. So in FF5, you started out with what was called a freelancer, and freelancers could essentially set up whatever array of different abilities from any class that you wanted. And then by the end of the game, that's pretty much just what you're doing. You're taking all the strongest, like, combat jobs and all that, and then you're setting up a team like that with a bunch of freelancers and just mixing and matching the abilities. This game, from what I can tell so far, does not have something like that. Maybe by the end. So you're just kind of switching between different classes, but every single class you can switch. Actually, no, I think this was a thing in 5 as well, if I'm not mistaken. Has a sub class. So the main class is the one that you'll gain experience on. You'll gain you have a separate experience, which is just your character's stats. And then you have, what are they called? Level points or something like that, which are specifically used to upgrade the class-specific skill tree. So whatever your primary class is where you will earn points towards, and then your subclass will just be there for you to have, like, an additional set of abilities to use, which is great. It it's just FF5 is such a fun ass game. One of the more underrated ones, I think, outside of Japan. I know Japan loves 5, and for good reason. It is genuinely, like, gameplay wise, one of the most solid, fun Final Fantasies. I love the job system in that game, and clearly someone else did, because the whole game is based around that. This came out last year in March. It has workshop integration. That's interesting. Can you, like, make your own classes? That's cool. That'd be neat. Yeah, there's like a slight. So one of the things that I liked about 5 was that every single character had a different outfit depending on what class they are. This one, there's a single sprite. Well, there's a male and female version of every class, and then it's just whatever that one. Whatever the character is, there's like one sprite that they're gonna be. Did I say that right? My brain's starting to throw down. Throw down? Slow down. Oh my god, it really is starting to slow down. All I'm trying to say is that the party composition is like, what character is this? What character is that? But it's not really too bad. Also, this does the Earthbound thing, where there's no random encounters. There are little flames on the ground that are basically enemies, and they will run towards you. They'll speed towards you if they make line of sight. You can actually hide from them, and then you will. Then if you touch, then you'll commence a battle. There's no like getting surprised from behind or something like that. It's just straight up. There's no like way to play it where it's like, oh, you can sneak up on an enemy and get the first turn or something like that. No, it's pretty much just like you can in like Persona, say. You're just gonna have a fight. It's really cool. It's a really cool game. Platforming is surprisingly fun. You can pretty much go. There are ways. There's routes to get kind of like, it feels like anywhere in the game, and it's just good. The Crystal Project, check it out. How many reviews does this thing have on Steam? About 1,000. Yeah. Oh man, only like 1,000, like 1,500. Yeah. Absolutely, I would recommend this to anyone. Even just try the demo. Like the demo, I am like almost overwhelmed with how much content is just in the demo. There's at least like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 big ass areas that will take you like an hour or two, maybe, depending on how thorough you want to be. But I would recommend like exploring and searching around for stuff, because even just like finding, even if the rewards are just like, hey, here's like a health potion, it feels rewarding. It's like I don't know, because the figuring out the way to get there was fun. Yeah, the music's good. It's just really cool. Yeah, the Crystal Project. I would totally recommend it. I really got to start playing. I've been itching to play a JRPG, and I think this is scratching that itch. I didn't realize I had it. It's like when you have an itch on your head, and you got to scratch it.